a clinic in how not to do crimes and how not to stop crime. This is the Hurricane Heist on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at me!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at me!
No one! Hang on!
It stinks.
Hang on!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness. I'm at Brent Spiner. I'm your host, Justin. I'm at Brent Spiner. With me, as always, are Sam and Jackie, who did not meet Brent Spiner. This is a podcast about bad movies. I'm at Brent Spiner. And I hope you enjoy it. I'm at Brent Spiner.
Yeah, and you didn't tell him, hey, buddy, nice ass.
Nice butt cheeks you got, Data. Who knew? If you don't remember Brent Spiner's ass from such fine films as Independence Day 4-2? What was that even called? Independence Day 4? Resurgence, yeah. Brent Spiner's buns are the show stealer. So I shouldn't have just shook his hand. I should have totally
grabbed his ass.
I should have grabbed his ass.
I just had to get a piece of that Independence Day 2 magic, Brent. Sorry, bud. And then he tweets out, me too.
Yeah, hashtag me too. I've been assaulted, you son of a bitch. I wanted to tell him, hey, just so you know, we think you're fucking great on this podcast. You killed it in that movie. You, in fact, won Best Bad Actor in 2017.
Sure.
But then you're calling Brent Spiner a bad actor because he doesn't know, right, about the SMABFAs. You can't be like,
so
you're the best actor in a bad movie. I meant, was what I said.
You didn't want to back into a corner where Brent Spiner's like, oh, so you and your friends have a little dickhead award that
right,
you gave
exactly,
me in your
exactly.
basement?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds neat. Fuck off, prick.
Which is what I think would have happened.
Yeah. I went to Juilliard. I don't think he went to Juilliard.
I know Patrick Stewart, who went to Juilliard. He went to Oxford, I think.
I don't know. Cambridge?
Yeah, maybe. Jackie, how are you on this fine Sunday?
I am good.
Yeah, that's it.
I got to meet Tom Cook.
Tom Cook, yes.
Who is an animator for a lot of different TV shows.
The animator.
But he is the animator for He-Man and She-Ra.
Yes.
And I grew up on that. And I was so excited to meet him. I mean, I got my picture signed. Mm-hmm. And then we walked around a little bit. And then I was like, do you think you'd take a picture with me?
We should preface this that all of this went down at the Comic-Con that we had here in Boise.
Yeah.
We weren't just wandering around the streets of Boise one day and, hey, look, it's Brent Spiner and Tom Cook.
And I got to meet Samantha
Newark.
Yeah.
Who was the voice of Jem for Jem and the Holograms, the original 80s cartoon.
Yeah.
So did you ask Cook if the show would have gone on longer, what season would Prince Adam have come out of the closet?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I was so excited to meet him. It was just... all I could think was, oh my God, you drew my shit. I love you. I blurted out, I have all of my action doll. I still have all of my dolls and the castles and everything.
They're action figures.
And Justin's like, they're action figures. And he was like, hey, before that point in time, the girls didn't have action figures. They were just dolls.
Right.
Yep.
All three of the people that we met have links to this podcast because obviously Brent Spiner won this SMABFA in 2017. Tom Cook animated the She-Man and He-Ra Christmas special, which we did an episode of, and then obviously Samantha Newark was the voice of Jem, who we gave an award. We did actually. Jem and the Holograms didn't win anything, but they were a SMABFA contender in 2016.
We did an episode on it though.
We did do an episode on Jem and the Holograms. That's right.
About Samantha Newark because she got a. She actually had a cameo, I think, or something. There was some level of involvement that she had with the movie.
Yeah.
Even if it was a snippet. But we mentioned her, so yeah.
Yeah, when we were talking to her, she also was a voice actor for one of the Transformers in the Transformers, the movie, or was it the Transformers, the motion picture?
Transformers, the disappointment.
Yeah, exactly. I started going like, oh man, I watched about 10 minutes of that movie. I didn't say Transformers. I said that movie, and woof. And she thought I was talking about Jem and the Holograms, the new one. And I think she started to defend it like, you know, there's some really good things in there for young teenage girls. And I didn't want to say there absolutely isn't because, you know, she's part of the project and I don't want to step on her feelings. But the whole time I was like, no, I'm talking about Transformers the movie. It's crap. And she's like, oh, yeah, it is crap.
It is crap. Every child hated that.
She was so nice and she was beautiful.
Yeah.
And she came around and took a picture with us and then she put us on her live Twitter feed.
Her
Instagram, whatever. I don't know. It's just magic.
Yeah, who isn't?
She's a magic lady.
Either way, I met Brent Spiner. Let's talk about the Hurricane Heist.
Who does not have Brent Spiner in it.
God, man, that would have been awesome if Brent Spiner's ass would have been in this movie. Game changer.
Yeah. Like halfway through, you just see this ass and then it zooms out. He turns. Yep, that's Brent Spiner's ass. Gives you a wink and you're like, thanks for this moment of levity in an otherwise dark and stormy 90 minutes that I'm stuck in the middle of.
Brent Spiner's ass is like the cow in Twister. It's just flying around randomly.
It shows up and hits the bad guy in the face and he falls out of the truck.
Whose ass is that? It's Brent Spiner's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hurricane Heist from this year. SMABFA contender for sure. We'll see what it gets nominated, but it qualifies. I think it's got a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sam, did you dig into any number stuff on this?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It cost $35, which I give him that.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Made back $6 domestically.
That's not good.
It's not good. Guess who? You know who Rob Cohen is, right?
He's not.
He's Rob Cohen.
God damn it.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Fast and Furious.
That's...
So, he did Dragonheart before Fast and the Furious. He did a couple of other movies that were pretty decent.
Yeah.
We've talked on the show about how Fast is basically an improved version of Point Break.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, he does Triple X, which wasn't super terrible.
It's not good.
And then Stealth, which is...
Stealth is awful.
Really bad.
Yeah. That's the one with Jamie Foxx and Jessica Biel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then Alex Cross, which I didn't even watch.
Woof. Starring Medea.
Medea, yeah.
Glurp.
Medea would have solved the crime faster, I think. I've read those Patterson. I read one of the Patterson novels, and I was like, I don't know about this Alex Cross guy.
Yeah. I wonder if that's who was in the book that he wrote with Bill Clinton just recently. If that's an Alex Cross novel.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah.
I bet it's probably some... That's got to be bad.
The lead action guy's name is William Schminton.
Like, I can't imagine the writing room with those two every 10 minutes, you know, because you're supposed to think, well, James Patterson's the idiot in the room, right? Mm-hmm. But every 10 minutes, James Patterson's like, no, the main character can't fuck an entire state on a real estate deal and then have sex with everybody but his wife.
And then like, punch everybody.
And then punch everybody. No, he can't win by going down a water slide with handfuls of cash. Where do you come up with this, Bill Clinton? It's really interesting. There was this novel in 2016 called Stormcrashers.
Okay.
And there seems to be a number of people that attribute this to when Stormcrashers got optioned by one of the big six, that a bunch of different movies... There was going to be a bunch of these, right? And
a bunch of what?
These Hurricane Heist movies.
No, there's not.
No, there was one. And then everybody's like, oh, yeah, it's a Stormcrashers. Not the movie Hard Rain from 1998 that this is a carbon copy of.
Exactly.
Or was Stormcrashers a carbon copy of Hard Rain? Because I didn't find that Hard Rain was based on the novel.
Why would anybody copy Hard Rain?
I don't know.
Sucks.
But the defense of Stormcrashers being not a copy of Hard Rain in novel form was that there's more high-tech gadgetry in it.
Oh. So it's like
having the entire skeletal plot is... You're not ripping anything off as long as you put in an iPad.
So it's as long as Christian Slater was also Batman. We got that.
No, if you just had, iPads.
A Fitbit watch.
He's got a Fitbit, an OnStar.
Yeah. Nothing's more high tech than OnStar.
Yeah, exactly.
You could talk to a person at any point in time.
Yeah, so from there, really the more interesting things, like we were watching it, I started accusing people of just losing their pretend accents because they're supposed to be from Alabama.
Right.
It probably was hard because all of them, except for the 2 women, were from England or Australia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I accused Maggie Grace of being from Australia because she went into an Australian accent for a while, probably because she was just hanging around all these English and Australian people.
Uh-huh.
She's from Ohio.
Right.
So what was going on with her?
Well, I know the sheriff turned English about halfway through.
Oh, the sheriff was English.
Right.
Yeah. But he was like all twangy in the beginning, and then about halfway through when he does the old switcheroo, then he becomes an English bad guy.
Yeah.
I think one of the hard parts is that there's so much of these lines that they have to scream at the top of their lungs.
Right.
That when you go hard, you can't keep the illusion up.
And
right?
meanwhile, Rob Cohen's in the background yelling, "Go more Bama!" What?
Yeah.
What is that even? Just make yourself sound all crazy.
I think Rob Cohen's in the background going, fuck it, I can retire at any point. This shit fucking left the rails a month into production.
Right.
Just keep doing whatever you're doing.
Let's get it done.
He's like, what should we do? I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to spray a fire hose at you. Do whatever you fucking want, right? Keep acting while I spray you with this fire hose. How about that? Give that a try. There's your motivation. I'm about to spray you with a fucking fire hose. How am I doing? I don't know. Are you still talking? Are you standing up? You're doing okay. We will remember Toby Kebbell, of course, from such fan-favorite films as Warcraft, Fantastic Four, Ben-Hur, and I guess he was in Kong Skull Island, but I didn't watch that one.
Oh, he was in Kong Skull Island. Yeah, you're right, which is like a meh film, so whatever.
It was okay.
It's meh.
It's meh.
Yeah.
I fucking hate World of Warcraft movies.
Oh, it's garbage. Didn't we find him in something else that was like
Ben-Hur?
Yeah, I thought
Ben-Hur was the
I
one
guess
that
this
we
is the
recognized.
4th. So 4
Yes.
times. And how many years? 3 years? Or is that 2 years of him working in film? How long ago was
It seems like he's made it into the worst category 4 times in 2 years. Something
yeah,
like that.
man. Wow. That guy is working hard to piss us off. He
But
sucks.
you know, I don't think he's even that bad of an actor.
He was pretty crap, Jackie.
Dude, he was giving it his go. I didn't think he was any worse than anybody else in the film.
No, I agree with that, but
Certainly not.
that's not the bar to judge acting by. It's how shitty everybody else is.
And I thought he captured the essence of the character.
What is the character? Start right now.
Okay, he's got a PhD in weathermanning. And so he's not going to be cool.
What?
And
Weatherman can't be cool?
no, I've
Okay.
never met a cool weatherman.
All right.
And
Sorry to all the weathermen out there.
he's got a sweet truck.
It's not his.
Well, it's his work truck.
Yeah, but not owned by him. And
That's not
And
really
he's social. He's antisocial, and he doesn't like his brothers. His brother's a fucking drunk loser, and
so
it just seems like it's okay.
he captured the character who is a weatherman / action guy.
Well, he has to save his brother. I mean, you will do some weird shit to save your
We'll
family.
get into all of that.
Well, I think if you were to describe the character, it would be that he's a small-town Alabaman gone PhD in meteorology. That would be the core. And it makes for an interesting on-screen thing when you've got this English guy that was probably supposed to be a teen heartthrob 4 years ago, but then he keeps choosing movies like this.
Yes. So, no, he's not it, Jackie. He is going to be a SMABFA contender.
In Jackie's defense, he did not do worse than anyone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. Better than the guy who was supposed to be Irish that didn't even have a brogue.
He was from England, too.
Yeah.
Not Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his character was Irish.
Yeah, I know.
It's closer.
We weren't able to, really rip apart his loss of accent, though.
Yeah.
The Ryan Quanten, the brother, he's interesting because this guy works. He sort of ends up in decent movies, or not decent budget theatrical pictures here and there.
Yeah,
but for the most part, he does DTV stuff. And there's one on one of the strangest movies. I don't know that I can recommend it, but it was called Blunt Force Trauma, and it was a weird world build. Like, it was a really efficient world build. It just like threw you in there, and then through the events, you knew exactly what was happening. You didn't need any and what it was sort of like a dystopian post-crashed economy for many years. Like, the economy never recovered. U.S.-Mexico border isn't really a thing because they're both shitholes now.
Right.
And the way he made money was they would do instead of like cage fighting, they would have gunfights, but wearing bulletproof vests.
Interesting.
And so,
what happens if you get shot in the face?
You die?
Yeah, okay.
The thing is that they weren't trying to kill each other.
Uh-huh.
They're trying to stand up through it.
Interesting.
So you're trying to knock each other over with guns and bulletproof vests.
So do you do it like action style, or is it more like Russian roulette? You go, then I go.
No, they draw and they started shooting each other until one fell over.
Interesting.
It was like the way that it ended up wasn't good.
Okay.
And it ends up having Mickey Rourke at the end, and it's a real waste of Mickey Rourke at the end, and then it becomes abysmally sort of confusing. But up until about 3/4, you're like, well, this is a really efficient film that is kind of interesting to watch. But he's in a lot of crap like that.
Yeah,
And then
all right.
when he finally gets a shake, because he's a working man, he ends up in shit like this. And now he's going to go back to DTV for 5 more years before he gets another chance at a theater thing, right?
Right.
Maybe
Hey, as
he'll-
long as he's working.
Maybe he'll get buff.
He's not a young guy.
Yeah.
So I think he's looking about how he's going to look.
Okay. What else you got, Sam?
That's about it on this thing.
Alrighty then. Jackie?
Yes. I would like to discuss the costumes.
Okay, please do.
The ATF characters looked pretty badass in their
really?
fatigues.
Huh? Okay.
Well, the ATF characters.
The guys who are bringing the money in on the trucks.
Yeah, the army guys.
The SWAT truckers.
Yeah, the SWAT truckers.
Now,
They
that's
look like they're ready for action.
All right.
the best part about that is that only one of them is ever identified as an ATF agent. The others are sort of, what?
They're identified as army guys.
Army guys, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
that was all right.
Yeah, all right.
The gratuitous crotch shots with the boxers. I was honestly, they had to glue those fuckers shut because I know that when you sit like that, your boxers just doink open in the front.
Uh-huh.
So, that was a little unrealistic.
Okay, we'll notch it down a half star for not enough exposed penis.
Yeah, the goddamn you costume designer for sewing his fly shut.
Right.
Stupid.
We were ready for this thing to fly from PG-13 to rated X. Yeah. Just like walking into his brother's house. Hey, bro, your cock is wobbling around all over the place. Like that scene.
We're going for accuracy here.
Yeah, that scene would have been very real. Had his cock been out, and he was just like drinking whiskey with instant coffee in it for breakfast, you'd be like, this is real, because he doesn't even care that his cock is wobbling all over my screen.
See? Unrealistic costuming.
Yeah,
right.
But I did feel like, what's the main character's name again?
The actor or the character?
The character.
Will Rutledge.
Will.
So Will, I really did like his outfits. I thought that weird gray hoodie thing that he had.
I could swear it was a Rosignol hoodie.
It was
I didn't know
really
that
cool.
Rosignol was still a thing.
Yeah.
And I liked his red ski jacket thing.
He is like Lady Gaga in his costume changing. Like, you got other things going on right now. He changes outfits like 6 times in this movie.
There was also the main bad guy changes his costume into that, but he changes back out of it, never back into it. Right. So for just one scene, he's wearing like a button-up shirt, some slacks, and then like a brown blazer, leather blazer that's about 2 sizes too big for him. And it's a weird shot from far away, like they just had a callback, and he came back from wardrobe looking like that, and that's all they had that fit him.
He was wearing cowboy boots too.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can't. No offense to the country westerners, you can't do action in cowboy boots. They are incredibly uncomfortable. They're not. It's not like Michael Jordan was out there playing basketball wearing cowboy boots, right? I mean, come on.
Chuck Norris would beg to differ with you, sir.
Oh, okay.
Chuck Norris whipped a lot of ass in cowboy boots.
Yeah, because Walker Texas Ranger is the ultimate representation of accurate action stuff.
Well, he was wearing cowboy boots in like 3/4 of those movies.
Yeah, all right. Okay, well, then he takes them off to do action in this movie, so according to Chuck Norris, this movie's bullshit.
I would also like to say that the last costumes I will comment on.
Okay.
The computer hacker people. Nobody goes to work in a dress with only one strap.
She's wearing a club dress.
Yeah. She's ready for action.
Dude, I wanted that boobie to come out so bad.
I don't think there was boob to come out, dude.
Oh, there was plenty.
I don't think so.
I looked her up on the internet. She's got boobs aplenty.
She's a smuggler, huh?
She's smuggling.
All right.
She's
Yeah.
serious.
Nobody dresses like that to go to work. And then the guy in the first shot where he's typing, I thought that he had a robot hand.
It seems like he's got robot hand tattoos on his hands.
But then, like, later you see that he's actually got fingers and stuff. So I'm like, those are some really shittily placed tattoos on this character.
To make it seem like he's got Luke Skywalker hands.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
It was
Whatever.
just stupid.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Representation of hacking. Hand tattoos. Like, why do you guys always have to make hackers butt? I guess because hackers are butt and all.
I don't think hackers are, hardly a thing that exists anymore.
Other than those 12 ones that just got indicted for fucking conspiracy against the United States. Kind of a big deal.
Well,
you
but
know.
in the abundance that we are meant to, they're out there still, but a lot of them actually just work for Microsoft now.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and Anonymous doesn't even exist anymore. They broke up. So, I don't know, man. But either way, in every movie, the hackers are never cool guys. They're always buttholes.
I would really... See, Brent Spiner should be a hacker in a movie at one point. Like, they get there, and it's just this, like, older guy that's like, oh, no, I'm just really good at writing code.
Yeah. It's kind of my thing.
Having some tea. He's got, like, 4 cats.
I don't even use my hands to hack into computers. I use my ass.
Because they're like, oh, man, we got to, like, hit the thing. We're going to go action-packed. It's like... Yeah, I got to stay here and feed my cats, guys.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a good enough hacker that they're not going to find me. See you later.
Whose ass is this?
And then his butt's like, move over. We got to take over the world. And his butt hairs like reach out and start typing.
Did you see Brad Spiner's ass? No, that's a hairy-free butt.
That's true. Maybe he could have some butthole hairs that come out.
That's what people want to see is the unflattering parts of the parts that you don't even really want to look at.
Even on your own ass.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a glow stick.
She is so weird.
So, like, what kind of raves did you go to?
Butthole raves.
I might have a little bit of the heat exhaustion.
She never went to any raves. She just pretended with her She-Ra and Gem and the Holograms dolls.
Just like
they
smoked a bunch of weed, played some techno music, and then used one of those zoom-in vanity mirrors on your own butt. Like, yep, that's weird.
Okay, let's do this, gang. The Hurricane Heist from 2018.
Sure.
Open on Hurricane Andrew. It's 1992 in Gulfport, Alabama, which I found out is not a place that exists at all.
Sure.
There is a Gulfport, Mississippi.
Sure.
Right in there. Would have been hit by Hurricane Andrew. So I don't know why you don't just do that, but whatever.
Well, maybe you got to pay him or something. I don't know.
This dad, he's got his boys in his truck. I don't know if they're trying to like outrun the hurricane because they're pretty nonchalant about this escaping the hurricane activity.
Well, the one kid was fucking around with his kite, and his kite broke, so then he was finally willing to leave. Instead of the dad just paddling his ass and being like, get your fucking ass in the truck.
Right.
Which we know would happen in Alabama.
Was it a kite or a cat?
It was a kite.
Oh, I thought he was trying to save the cat, so I was like, oh, that makes sense.
So you guys already can't decipher what people are saying in the first scene.
In the first scene, I got no idea what they're talking about.
Cool. Great.
And whether it's a kite or a cat, one of them was fucking around.
Right.
And then the father's like, you know what? Just stop arguing and practice your football plays.
Right.
Not discuss them, which you could do in a truck. Practice them.
Inside of a truck cab. Icky ducky.
Well, and the younger brother's like, I blame you. We're going to die, and I blame you.
Because of the cat?
Yeah, because he took too long.
Kite.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a flying cat.
Yeah. Either way, this is the first of endless football references throughout this entire film, because I guess you can't shoot a movie that takes place in Alabama without being like Roll Tide. Yeah. Shut up. So they drive off the road. They get ran off the road into this ditch area. The truck gets high-centered, and the hurricane's coming. And Dad's like, shit, boys, get in this house, because these people aren't here. I guess we'll use their place for a little bit. And I'm going to winch the truck to something and pull it out.
Yep. He's going to winch it off the high-centered rock that he just hit.
Yeah.
He's high-centered on a rock, and he's going to winch himself off by attaching to some farm equipment.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, and maybe I'm a little naive, but a place like this probably has a storm cellar somewhere.
I would think that there would be a storm cellar. I mean, it's not hurricane or Tornado Alley, right? I mean, it's supposed to be Alabama, even though it looks like fucking Kansas right now.
You know where it actually is?
Okay, where?
Bulgaria.
What the fuck?
That's where they shot this.
Why would you do that?
Save some real cash shooting in Bulgaria.
Okay.
I was saving that one from the description of the film for right then.
Yeah. This is not coastal community here.
It doesn't. I mean, granted they fooled me into thinking it was Kansas, but I
Hurricanes don't go to Kansas.
Do they go to the Bulgaria?
No, that I don't know, but I don't think so because it's Eastern Europe and there's not exactly a lot of water over there.
Yeah, they don't blow in from China.
Yeah. Hey, look, the Great Wall, kids.
The whole thing.
Because
it's a damn hurricane.
There's Brent Spiner's ass swirling around. He's getting a view of the Great Wall on his trip to Bulgaria. Yeah. So, anyways, the hurricane is a bad one. It's a category 7, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Needless to say, Dad pulls a fucking Kevin Costner and doesn't get sucked up into the hurricane, surprisingly, because that's what you expect.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad, like he's like, boys, and he flies away. No, he gets fucking smashed.
He gets smashed by what's either a water tower or one of those windmills that's actually like the ball.
Yeah, it's a giant piece of metal.
It's
a
a
water
big
tower
ball of metal.
It's rolling down the front of the property and just smashes him. He doesn't even like, it's getting pretty windy out.
He's like, hey, boy. Whoa.
There's no like dodging. There's no like, oh, Jesus, things are getting too nuts out here. He's being pretty cash out there. And suddenly gets ran over.
It's
you
also
probably can't hear a lot.
Well, of course not, but you can still see a fucking water tower coming at you, or being like, I need to get the fuck down, not dick with this goddamn truck anymore.
Yeah. It's also odd that there isn't that like the back and forth shots of them knowing it's gonna happen, and him being like, God damn it, boys, look after one another.
Yeah,
I got killed. It was
sacrificing his own life to save the boys.
Yeah, no, it's just like running through a field, killed by a large metal object.
It's hilarious. And then, we were dying laughing, and I was so hopeful in this scene. Like, oh my God, this thing just went to 11.
Yeah.
After that, the boys are, of course, Dad! And the hurricane picks up the house.
And drops it on its side.
Right. And not to mention, before the dad dies, he's just walking around out there. The house is already getting lifted off its foundation.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He's fucking dead if that's happening. So, as per tradition, we're going to do a death count. How many characters died before they actually died or never die.
Yeah.
So that's 1.
1.
The boys get picked up. The house gets put on its side, and they fall to the ground. One of them gets hit with a chair in the face.
Sure.
That's pretty funny. And then he looks up into the mouth of the hurricane, literally.
And it's got a nasty, mean skull face.
It is a monster. It is.
They've already been killed by this point as well.
You think they're already dead?
Oh, they're already dead.
Okay, let's go. That's 2
They picked
deaths
the
right
house 30 feet in the air and then threw it on its side.
Right.
They didn't make it.
They're dead.
They were impaled on something.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
Either that or the air is so thin there or so filled with debris.
There you go.
They aren't able to breathe.
There you go. They died multiple times. So let's address this right now. He sees a monster face in the hurricane.
Yeah.
Is it what he sees? Like, this thing is a monster? Is it some sort of alliteration, or not alliteration, allegory towards it being this demon beast that haunts him for the rest of his life? Or is it an actual fucking skull face in that hurricane cloud?
You can see whatever you want to in the clouds.
I guess that's true.
He just got a really red flag Rorschach test from his psychologist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the hurricane isn't alive.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. Because you don't go there.
No.
It does make monster sounds, though, every now and then.
If the hurricane is really a monster, then he'd have to, like, grab a stick and, like, jab it into the hurricane's heart at the end.
Right.
Like, take it, you son of a bitch.
I threw down my burden off the mount. Okay. Cut to the present. They're grown-ass men now. He works as we said, for FEMA, or not for FEMA per se, but like one of those.
He works for the
the
National Weather Service.
Right.
Through the Air Force.
Yeah, he's a meteorologist. He goes out and basically does a Bill Paxton. He's a hurricane chaser, but he doesn't chase hurricanes because he says, "Oh, that's a death sentence."
Yeah.
He just studies them,
Or I
from
think
a distance.
Really, what he's doing is he's boots on the ground that confirm, yes, we need to do an evacuation.
Yeah. Okay.
So they got data.
He's more Pierce Brosnan from Dante's Inferno.
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Inferno is something else.
It's much better.
Much better.
Yeah, I don't remember because I've
Both
tried to
involve the 7 levels of hell, though.
Oh yeah. See, I've tried to purge Dante's Peak from my mind, so I don't remember what Pierce Brosnan's actual job was in that movie.
Right.
But yeah, he's there, I think, just as part of the warning system.
Okay. And his brother, which we find out later what he's up to, but let's just do that now. He is now a mechanic.
He's just taken over the old man's shop.
Okay. All right.
They have the door from the original truck on the wall in there, and he's got his own tow truck now. But he also is he's just a mechanic.
Okay.
In town where he grew up.
Well, there's a storm coming again now into this. I guess they're still in Gulfport.
Yeah,
I think so. So, anyways, there's a storm coming. Will, the brother, is like, this one's gonna be pretty nasty, guys, and they're like, well, we're not too worried about it.
And actually, the movie cuts away because it says, I have to go back to this because it was such a bad cut. It cuts out and goes Gulfport, Texas, or Gulfport, Alabama, and it's a shot of the whole Earth.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the National Weather Service in Virginia, and then it tells you you're there, and you're like, wait a second, that wasn't Gulfport, Alabama. That was most of the Earth, and I could clearly see Mexico more than anything.
Right.
That was not... Who's in charge of the graphics here?
Yeah. The road's all jammed up. Everybody's evacuating because I guess he got them out or something, because the weather people are like, yeah, it's got to be fine.
Should we use the highway? No, use that single lane road that's barely paved.
That leads to Joe's farm. That's the only place that road goes to.
No.
Come on.
We live in a state that has a low population. That road doesn't go anywhere.
Right. And there's like tons of people that are jammed up on this road because a truck broke down. They don't just push the fucking truck off the side of the road. People don't just drive around the fucking truck.
No,
they're like, honk, honk, honk.
Yeah.
We're all going to die. Well, we got to stay on the road, though. I mean, that's just the rules.
Yeah. Well, we are now introduced to SWAT truckers.
SWAT truckers.
This is a new level of trucking for you, Justin.
It
How
is.
do you feel about that?
Believe it or not, fam, we've got a lot of trucking to do ahead of us. So, yeah. Maggie Grace, Liam Neeson's daughter, I should say, from the Liam Neesons.
She was taken and then lost.
And then taken again.
But now she's in the sequel to The Walking Dead, even though it's not done yet.
Sequel to The Walking Dead.
Yeah, there's like a something of The Walking Dead.
Oh, fuck it. Who cares?
She's in that now.
All right, whatever. People fucking blow that shit and it sucks. So she is, we later learn, she's not just a SWAT trucker. She works for the ATF.
Wait, what?
As a truck driver slash government liaison slash paper shredder for the US Department of Treasury.
It seems like no one here actually works for the Treasury.
No, it does not appear so.
Although they all should work for the Treasury.
At no point in time would the ATF be called in for anything to do with the Treasury Department. That is not what they do at all.
We didn't.
That's not true. They would be like, hey, we need you to come and put up your no smoking sign.
The ATF, they get an email that says, God damn it, put your guns away.
Yeah, right.
Jesus, not again.
Come in and put up your no smoking. Don't shoot us, Jesus Christ.
We said the no smoking signs. God damn it.
He's like, I'm going to no smoke you after I smoke you.
David Koresh.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago. We still got to get payback for that motherfucker.
You pay back. I think they got it.
What a dickhead. So she's delivering to the U.S. Department of Treasury's money shredder.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I have no problem with that. I'm assuming that's how they do it. But she's driving $600 million.
There's 3 trucks, so there's $200 million a whack per truck.
Right, into this facility to be
and
shredded.
There's a Gatling gun in the back of the trucks.
Wow. That never gets used.
No, they disappear. They actually disappear.
What the fuck is up
because
with
later
that?
we see the inside of the back so that they're gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
I have to now address. There's another heist film that involves the Treasury Department that we just did in its cliffhanger, and they didn't fuck this part up. They had all these people work for the Department of Treasury.
Right.
And one of them was an FBI guy, and he turns out to be the inside man.
If this whole thing was to happen, and say the U.S. Department of Treasury doesn't have enough toughs, they're going to call the FBI. That's the FBI's job right there, to provide that sort of protection.
But either way, this film has already gotten it worse than Cliffhanger.
Yes, indeed.
So you know what this tells me is that if you're working for one of these government agencies and you see somebody and they're stealing toilet paper,
okay,
that is the first sign that they're going to be the mole.
The mole?
The mole?
I mean, the conspirator.
Oh.
I am not thinking very clearly.
Huh.
Yeah, because you know it's just a slippery slope. First you're stealing toilet paper, then you're stealing paper towels, then you're stealing Frank's lunch.
I think you start with Frank's lunch.
And then somebody approaches you and says, hey, you want to steal $600 million? And you're like, sure, why not? I've gone this far.
They say, hey, do you want to... Is that my fucking sandwich?
Did you steal 62 sack lunches? Stop it. Spit that out. So she's like, fuck this shit. I'm stuck in a truck cab with some fucking ATF guy also that's spewing fucking Nietzsche out of his mouth. I don't know. Whatever.
This guy is never identified with what agency he worked for.
Right. But they seem like they have a pretty
developed
relationship.
They identified her as being the government liaison. The
government liaison to what?
They're all in the government.
Right.
Or maybe she's the White House liaison?
But she
She's
works
the
for
Washington.
the ATF.
Washington liaison.
Yeah, she's the Washington liaison. That's what
So
they call
she's
her.
the only person in the ATF. And I don't recall the ATF being in charge of the Treasury's cash.
No. So who would she liaison to? She's at the U.S. Department of Treasury. Is she liaisoning back to her bosses at Washington? Yeah, I got here, ATF boss. What are you doing there?
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah, it's like, you're really fucked up in Utah. Well, now I'm down here in Alabama driving truck and making sure this cash gets shredded. What the hell
That's not
are
what we
you
do.
doing?
We storm compounds. Criminy. You like storming compounds, right?
Yeah.
Well, I do work for the ATF, so.
According to Sabotage, they just steal drugs and shoot each other.
Right.
Oh, this sounds like the agency for me.
Jackie's signing up for the ATF.
I hear that we're gonna steal some drugs and kill each other in a gunfight. Where do I sign up for that?
Gunfight.
And then I'll win, and then I'll have drugs, hopefully cocaine.
Which is what you're going to overload yourself when you storm the compound and get a bunch of innocent women killed in a fire.
No.
Oh.
God.
That's what the ATF... See, it's not the agency for you because that's what the ATF does, Jackie.
Keep up.
I don't know
shoot everybody before that happens. You take the cocaine. Then you're like, oh my God, my whole team killed by a group of women in this crazy building.
No, I'm at the cult compound. After you get the drugs, you got to go storm a cult compound.
Oh.
They don't have drugs at the cult compound. They have Kool-Aid.
No, I think you just, hook up with the nerds. You get in on the panty raid and you turn it into a bloodbath.
All right, we should probably stop throwing the ATF under the bus.
Because this was like, you bad ATF for what you did when I was 10.
Right.
I was 10 when you did that, and I'm almost 40.
Okay, so she's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. She slams on the gas, bumps some cars out of the way, and she's making the delivery. And then when she gets to the U.S. Department of Treasury's money shredder factory, they're like, you ditched the other 2 trucks. Where are they at? And she's like, hee, I'm good at stuff. Because she's got a lead foot that makes her like she's a badass because she ditches the other 2 trucks who she's in charge of protecting just so she can get there first and be like, boom, shakalaka, winner.
We're also now realizing that every one of these clandestine military agents from various agencies is also a truck driver.
Right. Maybe we're getting told. Maybe it's like people are stupid. They don't know anything about trucking. Maybe a lot of people don't know about trucking. You can't just drive a truck.
No.
You have to know how to drive a truck. It's like flying a helicopter. Helicopter's obviously more complex and will probably kill you.
Yeah.
But, well, one time I rode a bicycle. That makes me qualify to fucking fly a F-10 Warthog, right?
Sure, I got a 4-speed automatic in my Civic. I'll just hop in this semi and pop her around the yard, huh?
Yeah, right.
Like, you're not even going to be able to get it into first and make it move.
No. I think you have to triple clutch those.
You actually have to go to a fucking school to learn how to drive them.
Correct. All right, so...
Okay, so do I sign up for ATF or trucking school?
School.
We really do need to decide what we're doing with our lives here, people. We take this show on the road.
Maybe they go to the ATF, and then they just have a box that says check all apply. Check all that apply, and drugs, gunfight, trucking, heists. And
Panty raid, bloodbath.
You hand them back the thing, and like, yes, I want all 4, and then they just put you directly in jail. That's what the ATF now is it's just a big dragnet for anyone that actually signs up to the ATF. They just put you in jail. Like, if you want to be in the ATF, you're obviously psychotic, so we're gonna just lock your ass
entrapment
up.
for domestic terrorists. Okay. So the Treasury's money shredder has gone down. It's busted or something, and so the money, they can't just shred it.
So we're also now given this situation where there's a very high-tech piece of equipment that no one operates because the operator is the one that maintains it and fixes it and all of that. Like,
right.
There's no one that works there. Uh-oh, the thing doesn't work.
Right.
You're an administrative guy. You don't turn this thing on. There's a crew of people that run this machine.
What is it anybody does here?
No one actually works at this place.
They just stand and watch it, and then when money stops shooting out the end, they're like, oh,
no,
what do we do?
It's not a technical machine, right?
Right.
And why do they have to have computer hackers to fix it?
It doesn't make any sense.
It's an on-off button and 2 blades.
We see the thing. It's not like we've got some vague understanding of what the shredder machine is. It's seriously just a big fucking hopper.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And there's only one person that works in the building, and it's the director of it.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else was in the trucks before.
Right.
Like, oh, the shredder doesn't work. Is it the shredder that's broken or this entire office? Because there's only one person that works here and he doesn't know how to use this thing.
One more question. Why do we have the ATF here?
Yeah. She's with the ATF? Who are those guys? Oh, those are Army guys.
Those are Army guys.
Army guys is what they're called in the movie.
All right, so it's down. The money's been piling up. There's
apparently it's been down for weeks.
It's been weeks. Neil Breen's in the corner. He's like, I've got so much work to do.
Yeah, I gotta get this work done. So now there's $600 million sitting around with a hurricane on the way, and they're like, not good.
Yeah.
Let's now deal with this thing, I guess. The phones are down and the power's blinking, and she's like, well, turn on the emergency generator. He tries it, and then the emergency generator breaks.
So this guy that runs this place doesn't have any employees and has let the machine stop for 2 weeks.
Right.
How do you think his next review is going to go?
He's really skimping on the maintenance.
He's going to have a fine review because he's going to be reporting to the ATF, and they're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
So nobody knows who their bosses are in this movie.
Do I work for you? Do you work for me? I don't know. Do you know Steve?
Yeah, Steve. No, actually, I don't.
Should I know Steve? I don't know. Should I know Steve?
I don't know if I do know Steve. Why did I say Steve?
And then Steve's my dad. Really? Oh, this guy here, he knows what's going on. It's like, okay, I just have a dad named Steve. I was the janitor a minute ago. Now I'm the boss.
And I'm going to say that the only realistic thing about this whole thing
was
that the internet went down. because around here,
okay,
it
realistic.
It blows a little hard. It's not even hurricane type weather, and it goes down. And at work, we have phones that are connected through the internet.
Yeah.
We don't have regular phones.
Voice over IP. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I could believe that the phone didn't work.
No, that's all fine and good, Jackie. However, the problem is, who the fuck are these hacker people that are in there? There's like no introduction. They just come in. One of them seems like she's like, oh, I'm a celebrity, and I'm here to sit a computer.
Yeah.
Why are you here? And like,
why are you British?
Why are you dressed like you're going to the fucking nightclub when you're going into a fucking incinerator, basically?
The sales team for an IT firm, not the actual techs.
What the fuck?
That's what I mean. Like when you see them walk in, they're like dressed to the nines, right?
Oh my God, that's so stupid.
And you're like, oh, these guys are going to sell them something. And you're like, no, we're the hackers. Like, or we're the techs. Like, no, I've seen the techs. They wear sweatpants most of the time.
Right. But, and either way, hey, today's probably not a great day for you guys to come in here and do whatever you're trying to do. There's a fucking hurricane outside. I don't know if you saw that on your way in or not, but
I blame the administrator again. The director's like, well, I had 2 weeks to get this thing fixed, but I'm choosing now that there's a hurricane to call these people in.
And then Casey, Maggie Grace's character's name is Casey, Agent Casey. She looks over after all the power's gone down. Nobody has computer access except for these two guys. And she's like, she notes it for later, but at the same time, that's not a note for later. You go, even if you aren't suspicious of them, you go in there and be like, well, how are you guys doing that? How'd you get online? I need to check my Twitter.
I don't know. This seems like suspicious activity, and I'm in the ATF. Instead, I'm going to FaceTime my boss. Talk about old times on an iPad.
Right.
Which is what happens next. She FaceTimes with her boss, and her boss is like, yeah, you can go ahead and change the code to the safe, because this is now plot relevant.
Yeah, right. Go ahead and do that.
Then she goes upstairs, and she's like, hey, the only way the bad guys can fuck up their plan is if they turn off the generator right now. And the guy's like, oh my God, the generator's off.
The generator's broke.
Not actually how it phrases. The movie itself is telling you, like, oh, they're shutting everything down.
Right.
They shut down the backup generator during a hurricane. And they need electricity to do what they're going to do.
They don't shut it down. They break it.
Yeah, they break it.
Which is not a thing. Like, you can't push a computer button and break it. Like, I'm sending the generator a virus. No, it's not how it works. It's a fucking mechanical device. We see that later.
And if you did have the ability to, like, overrun the generator to break it, that's a break that ain't going to be fixed in there. They're going to have to put a new block on the son of a bitch, right?
Absolutely. No, it's okay. So she's like, well, I have nothing to worry about here other than that there's a hurricane. We don't have any power. I'm going to hide my iPad in some paper or some money that's already been shredded. Hope that doesn't go into the fire later.
Do you think that there's like a guy that works there and makes off with a bunch of the shredded cash and has just like this huge paper mache museum,
right, where he's still trying to stitch everything together, and like his entire house is wall to wall, like Kevin Spacey's character in Seven? You go into his apartment, it's just all just money everywhere, and he still hasn't put together $1.
Oh no, I was thinking that he's like made a family for himself out of paper mache.
You know, it took him 6 weeks to get little Sally's curls just right.
Brent Spiner's in the den, ready to hang out. Right. Only he's green and he's made of old money.
Could you imagine the stench?
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, I think after it sets up, it doesn't smell anymore.
Money? Old money?
If you used it for paper mache, because it's like it mortars.
Oh yeah, I guess so. So it wouldn't have the pocket smell.
It resins up, so you would just have these like stone people in your house.
And nobody's ever come inside until one day the Jehovah's Witnesses knock on his door and he's like, oh, come in here. Or maybe he would be like,
no, he'd bring
come
in
and we'll talk to my family about this religion stuff.
And then they're just sort of staring at him like, what the fuck? And he's like, don't worry, they don't like talking to people. They're old money. Took me like 10 minutes to tell that joke.
It's a good thing we got it there for you. Okay, so she's like, okay, well, I guess the backup generator's dead. I'll go into town and pick up the mechanic that we have. We don't have a guy who knows how to run every part of a facility that has $600 fucking million in it at any given time. We got to go get that truck mechanic guy.
Yeah. How many people do you think should work at this place? Like 1,000?
Like, well, you got to obviously a security. Are we
That's
including
the only ones
security?
that we see.
Right. But they don't have enough of that even.
No. They have... There's only one guy that works there.
Right. There is only one guy who is not armed. Well, he's armed, but not solely there to shoot at people. There's one guy.
6 guys as part of the gate team.
Uh-huh.
All the other guards are in the trucks.
Right.
After that, there is one person that works there.
That's insanity. So, she's on her way to pick him up. The hurricane's coming, blah, blah, blah. And Will, the meteorologist brother, he goes to his brother's house and is like, hey, man, we got to get you out of here. The hurricane's on its way. And or older brother, do we even know his name?
Scott?
Yeah, sure.
Dad killer.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. This is my entire life. This shop, whatever. And so blah, blah, blah. I'll get out of here eventually if you help me board up the windows. So brother's hanging out for a little bit. Meanwhile, back at the facility, the shredding facility, a van has pulled up. And they're like, hey, man, let us in. We're here to do something. I don't know.
Fix the phone lines.
Fix the phone lines. And they're like, no, you don't have authorization. You don't have a pass for that. You don't have security. You don't have blah, blah, blah. This seems like a really elaborate plan that you think that you would have addressed this one fucking problem. I mean, they do, sort of. But
I can do it real fast for you. The 2 tech people that come in are like, we're going to have some other guys show up in a minute to help us with this. And those are the guys.
Okay.
Weird.
Yeah, duh.
That worked better.
Okay. They're like, no, you can't come in. And then, oh, yeah, we can, because all of a sudden, the gate opens.
Yep, and then the shooting starts.
But how does the gate open?
It's poorly done. It's supposed to be the hackers open the gate. They say something about it.
You know, not everything is ran off of a fucking laptop. Sometimes
you can run the whole world off an iPad.
Sometimes there's just a button at the fucking security gate that you go beep, and it engages a fucking motor that fucking swivels the gate open. God damn it! There's not a Windows 10 gate opening app. It's assholes.
No, you just run that off an iPad. You're like, hey, are you gonna open the gate? Hold on, it's stuck on Snapchat. Yeah. I can't get this dinosaur to go away.
I'm swiping left.
Did you are you gonna open the gate? No, I just hold on. What is that dinosaur doing on there? Why is that dinosaur next to a man's penis?
So they get in after shooting their way in to the facility
with dart volvers.
Darts.
So they have these like snub-nosed 357s.
Right.
But they shoot an unlimited amount of darts out of them. At least give me a gun that looks like a dart gun. If there's really a dart volver,
like,
wait until the dart volver is known by society.
Like one of those tribal people, the little,
like a blowgun.
The reed, yeah, a blowgun. You want to see that?
That would have been more realistic.
A gun that looks like it's not a 357 snub-nosed revolver. Because I know that one doesn't shoot darts.
It does not shoot darts. No, they do not. And also these darts are like the fucking, like the Zapruder footage. Like they bend around JFK's head.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like he shoots one while he's pointed at the guy's face and it hits him in the back of the neck.
Yeah.
What?
It went all the way, it did a lap first.
Yeah.
And the main bad guy, the Irish dude, he shoots like 12 of them. Out of, so if it was like some special round that you put in a gun that only shoots low velocity, has a very small, powder package or something, I know that 17 of them don't fit in there.
No. Why aren't they killing these guys?
He doesn't want to. He worked with these guys for like 10 years. You don't want to kill them.
That, and it makes you even, if you do get caught, killing a federal employee is a big deal.
I guess they are federal employees, yeah. But I think they're going to get the chair no matter what happens in this scenario. And also we're supposed to, like, make these guys really evil. I mean, because eventually he threatens a civilian and blah, 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 blah. That's not even related to anything. And he's constantly losing his temper and screaming and yelling and being just mean in general. Go all the way. He's a bad guy, right? Why do we need him to be sort of not a bad guy? No, he's a bad guy.
Well, he is that guy you're saying inexplicably after getting slightly miffed, like 12 minutes from now. But right now, he's like everybody's buddy. He's like, oh, I worked with Glenn for 10 years. And they're like, oh, yeah, so I couldn't find any Bismarck, so I just got you a chocolate donut. Kill them all!
Kill them! Murder!
Like, I just wanted my breakfast, and now I gotta kill everybody.
So they get in it pretty easily, like pretty fucking easy for them to take down the US Department of Treasury that has $600 million in it in the matter of seconds with 6 guys.
You would, I still gotta address the $6 million thing. Or $600 million. It's been piling up for weeks. Why'd they need 3 semis to bring in what was left? Because you can fit $600 million in 20s in those 3 semis.
Yeah. You do need semis to do it, but yeah, you can totally do that.
Do that. Like, so that doesn't work either.
No, it doesn't work. So Agent Casey, she shows up and picks up the brother of the mechanic. He's like, cool, I got a job to do, bro. So I'm never going to see you again. And the hackers back at the facility, they can't open up the safe. They need the code that she changed, and they were supposed to not. She was never supposed to change the code. They had it when they were coming in, and now they're like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do? We need 2 hours to crack this thing." So they got a little bit of time.
She also changes the code. It shows the code later. How long do you think it would have taken her to change the code to what she changed it to?
Shit.
33 numbers or something like that.
33 2-digit numbers or some shit like that. It's like, my mom's birthday, my aunt's birthday, my dog's birthday. This guy I went to 2nd grade with, his birthday.
Boobs. Okay, so she comes back to the gate and she's like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? There's all these guys and like cars are not parked in the right place and the gate's open. So she starts stealthing her way in, but they see her coming and hold her up. And they're like, put your gun down. And she's like, okay, fuck, shit. And then the brother, who is in her car waiting, sees all this goes down. He fucking comes in, does a power slide, and is like, get in the car if you want to live. And she jumps in, and they fucking take off, and then he fucking crashes straight into some fucking things. Some pylons.
She does like a slick move, like the more Rob Cohen, like his only bit of artistry in here, because he always does stuff with cars. And so this is his only like real Rob Cohen scene.
Right.
She kicks the car door out so that it like hits the end of its swing and then swings back into her hand like, oh yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I noticed it, right? I was like, whoa, that's not Abby Cornish, but it's something.
So immediately after he crashes the car, he gets nabbed. Now you're a fucking hostage, brain surgeon. Like, okay, I'll save it for later, but man, this shit pisses me off. So he's nabbed. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to make you fucking fix the generator, you son of a bitch, and open up our whole fucking plan. And he's like, God damn it, I probably shouldn't have done all that, where I got kidnapped and now I'm a hostage, and their whole plan could have gone to shit without me. Whoops. She's running around. She's dodging bullets and going out into town. Gunfight out in the streets. And then Will, who's just on his way back to fucking Langley, I guess, or wherever the National Weather Service is, he sees her fighting this dude. He's like, fuck, I gotta stick my nose in this fucking shit. Picks her up.
Yeah.
What's up? She's like,
your
brother did a bad thing, and I totally ditched him.
Yeah.
I am a complete bitch.
Yeah, he's a hostage now.
Yep.
What?
How did you fuck that up? I work for the ATF.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm even doing.
Hop in, yeah.
Yeah. So Will and Casey go to the cops Like, she, I guess, is looking for backup because they can't... There's no comms back to headquarters, right? And even if there were, they're in the fucking middle of a hurricane. What are they going to do? Send a chopper that's going to get flown into Brent Spiner's ass? No. So they got to go to the cops because I guess the cops didn't evacuate even though everybody else in town did. I don't know.
Well, I guess not.
Yeah.
They should have just been the back of the line.
Right. Exactly. No duh. That's why that truck was broke down and nobody knew what to do about it because the cops were like, well, what the fuck ever. We're hanging out. Unfortunately, the cops are in on it. They're part of this whole thing. We see this money coming back and forth every day, and you don't think we want a little part of it? QQQ. And they hold them up. Things are going poorly.
Yep.
But they get away.
Car chase.
In his...
Dominator?
The Dominator.
Which we don't even get it called that. Like, he calls it the Dominator... Like, one scene before it disappears from the movie.
Right.
You're like, this thing's had a name the whole time the movie's been on. You didn't give it that name, and then you name it and get rid of it.
It's basically the Tumbler from Batman.
What's the new bomb-proof military rig? I think those are English, but I'm not sure. It's got really heavy, like, even though it's tall, it's not very tippy. And the bottom of it is basically a V made of really heavy plate metal, so that when something blows up, not only does it not go through, but because of how angular it is, both from the bottom and the sides, like shit that hits it basically deflects off because of how angular it is.
Cool.
That's the design behind that. I watched there was a Nova on that car actually.
That's fucking sweet, man. I want one of those. I like going into where there's bombings. You know, doing some bomb mugging.
Picking up dog shit in the yard doesn't count as bombing, Justin.
I don't think I can spin Brodies in my backyard.
You can, in flip-flops and dog shit.
All right, so they're in on it. The cops follow him. They give chase. He's like, hold on, do you trust me? And she's like, I guess I don't have much of a choice. I just met you. And he slams on the brakes, engages his meteorology spikes.
That's what they are. That was good because I couldn't figure out a better thing to call them. I was like, what?
Yeah, the spikes shoot out into the ground to, like, I guess, plant his hurricane mobile in place. And the cops have no choice but to ram right into the back of his fucking truck, even though it's like one of those, the Austin Powers, no, with the steamroller sequence, like, guys, you could have driven around it.
Slowed down, driven around it.
Honk and wave on your way past. No, they crash right into the back ass of the end of them.
And then the inside of the car, they're really shaken up by it. It's like, no, if it's been spiked in and it's made of metal, it's stationary now. You didn't get the shock. They got the shock.
Right, exactly. They're dead.
They should be dead because they just drove into a concrete barrier.
Yeah, those cops are dead.
At 90, basically.
Yeah, right. So everyth's good there. They get away. They go on about their business. I don't even know where they're fucking going. But he tells her that his satellite computer can pick up cell signals. What? So they've got access to everything now.
Like radar reader. So he's got some frequency reader because his sat link has been shot off.
Right.
They shot his sat link off.
But
you think they could make that a little smaller?
It's got to be the same size as the one on the Millennium Falcon, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. But still, he's a meteorologist who's driving around in a tank that can pick up cell phone conversations.
I guess.
Anybody's. No, because inside the car, they start hearing dialogue between when the Irish guy calls the cops who just crashed into the back of them. They're like, they got away, and they hear that entire conversation in the fucking car.
They stole a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, they have a walkie-talkie now.
God damn it! Okay, all right. That's
she went and stole guns.
Yeah, they took a gun
Close
and a walkie-talkie.
All right, man.
Out of the car.
I thought that was the SAT computer. I was like, motherfuck you.
Motherfuck you.
That's horse shit.
Yeah, well, that would have been the where to draw the line.
Either way, it's still pretty fucking close because now they can see which cell towers have the strong signals coming out of them because they put it together that if the hackers can still have access to the internet in that building, there must be using a cell signal. a direct uplink, blah, 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 bullshit.
Meanwhile, you can't stand up outside, but the internet still works.
Yeah, right. Wi-Fi is looking pretty good.
Yeah, what's your Wi-Fi signal?
4G.
Strong. I got 4 bars. Where's your cat? I don't know. Probably Florida.
No, he can't pick up fucking cell tower signals.
I don't
in his
know.
Fucking weathermobile. That's dumb. All right, so she's like, well, cool. I appreciate you telling me that. Let me tell you about Utah.
And then she doesn't tell him about Utah. That's the best part.
This is the second time this dark history of her career in Utah. The Utah incident.
Yeah.
The Utah incident? The ATF Utah incident.
Sure.
No, that never happened.
Yeah.
She's like, I guess the closest we can do is she got somebody she cared about killed. Cool.
She probably rammed into some cars, and he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, knocked his head, got a concussion, and died.
From a concussion. Okay.
Yeah.
You can die from a concussion.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
you know, under certain circumstances, that would imply that she really did not do anything to take care of him after driving him into a wall.
He said he was fine.
Okay, all right. I'm good. So they drive over to a cell tower, the cell tower that they're using for the uplink. And the plan is to pull it down with his meteorologist winch.
Yeah.
His weather winch.
So he decides to climb all the way up to the top of it.
In the middle of a hurricane.
Because you know how you're going to be able to drag one of these down.
Uh-huh.
Attaching a winch to the very top
Only the
bar.
top, yeah.
That won't just pull that one bar loose. No, that'll bring the whole thing down.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to grab one of the bottom legs, say. That would be
Where
a
it's
silly,
actually attached to the building.
where
yeah.
it's actually attached to the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Also, they showed the bolts that thing was in, and they showed that worn winch, and it doesn't fucking matter which side you attach it to. That ain't gonna pull it off.
no, it is not.
But the wind blew it over 10 minutes ago, so
Right.
fucking
You're
why
fine.
bother?
You're
Why
totally
bother,
fucking
right?
fine. He dies in this sequence.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
So we got that.
I think she died too.
Why is that?
Because the satellite came down, crashed down, and killed her.
No,
she-
she does something stupid, but it's not that.
Yeah.
It's actually smart because that's what would have happened. So anyways, he's up there swinging around, wind's blowing his ass all over the fucking place. He gets it looped around, and he's like, engage the winch. And she's like, huh? I don't know what to do. I work for the ATF. And the cops have got big
Yeah.
trucks now, somehow.
They've got some personnel carriers.
Yeah.
From the 70s.
Right, and they see them doing this thing, and they're like, let's shoot them.
Yeah.
And so they get into a gun battle. She slams on the fucking gas, reverses it, not just hitting the winch button, because you don't need to back up to take the slack out of the winch. You could just hit the button and pull the little thing, which would have killed her. But she backs way away from the fucking thing.
She also is responding to his hand signals, and his hand signals are alligator jack off. It doesn't make any sense.
Alligator jack off!
Yeah, he makes, like, his hand signals in this sequence make zero sense.
Maybe alligator jack off is like one of the football plays that he was practicing in the car with his brother. You know, it's one of their little secret code. We're going to run alligator jack off.
Alligator jack off.
It's how the Tide beat Mississippi in 92.
What's the alligator jack off? It's a triple reverse. Wouldn't that just be a play that takes way too long to get to the part that you started from? Yep, that's why it doesn't work.
That's
why
it's
we
a
call it
jack
the
off.
alligator jack off.
All right, so these cops show up in their troop transports and then proceed to just crash into buildings.
Yeah.
Both of these trucks crash. One for seemingly no reason.
Well, she shoots the bad guy's girlfriend. That's why that one crashes.
Into a gas station, then explodes.
But there's no gas pumps. You
Right.
really only see like an ice machine and then a lot of explosion.
Right.
And then the other one just crashes.
Into like a department store.
Yeah.
She pulls down the tower.
Yep. He should be dead again.
Oh, yeah, because the tower crushed him? Or
Yeah.
he was on it? Yeah. All right, I got another kill there. What's happening while all this is going down is the hackers have got their code breaking algorithm,
Sure.
encryption, blah, blah, blah going. They're counting down the digits. They're almost there. They've got one more digit to go when the bolts, the last 2 bolts of the tower snap, causing the internet to go down, which is implying the only thing that provides internet is lag bolts. There's no wires. This thing doesn't even go into anything. It's just the bolts provide the internet. Well, fuck you.
Plus, like, they didn't pay for the decryption software. It's just on a website.
Yeah, they have to use the fucking cloud.
You're gonna use high-tech devices in a hurricane, and you're like, well, all this shit only works with the internet.
Hold on, I gotta go to bankcracker.com to do this.
Yeah. It's freeware. I don't want to pay for it. Licensing is expensive.
My God, they need the internet to do crime.
They need the internet. And then let's talk about the code break.
Uh-huh.
It stops and it stays on screen.
Right.
It's a 2-digit system and there's only 1 box left.
They need 2 numbers.
They need...
What are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
We only have 100 to choose from.
Yeah.
We can't just try them all. That's too many.
I'm going to go get a bagel, take a shit, come back here, and in 3 minutes, I'm going to have this shit open.
Right. Oh, they're jammed up with 2 numbers left. Nope.
Well, they say that if they put in the wrong sequence 3 times, then the safe locks itself for 48 hours.
So it's fucking on the internet too.
Right.
It's like a website system.
No, this is shit.
Oh.
Okay, so anyways, the internet. Okay. Back on the streets.
Yeah. Well, also the power goes out right here.
Right.
And they're like, oh, now we're up hot water. Why'd you stop the generator?
Right.
If this was going to be a problem for you, you shouldn't have stopped the generator, because maybe the generator fixing guy evacuated like he was supposed to.
Right. Or he's like, fuck you, and somebody shoots him, or like it serves no purpose to shut down the generator.
The only way to foil their own plan was to stop the generator.
Correct.
Had they not stopped the generator,
none of this would have happened.
None of this would have happened.
And it provides them with no benefit to shut down the generator. Oh,
no.
My God. All right, so back on the streets. Will has now decided to fight crime with hubcaps. There's a giant tethered bag of hubcaps. Right, because those are
hanging from the street in the middle of town. Like, it's like the net that captures Chewbacca and Han Solo
right.
and Luke and all them in Return of the Jedi. It's that big. It looks kind of like that. And it's full of hubcaps. And it's just in the middle.
They have a real problem with stray hubcaps in their town.
Yes.
If you're selling hubcaps, this isn't the way to do it.
No.
Because you can't, like, just dig through a trapped sack of hubcaps to find the one you want.
Hanging in air.
And if you're gathering hubcaps, this seems like an odd way, unless they're, fighting the Empire and you just capture them on their way over. Like, the only way that hubcaps end up in a net like this is if there was a school of hubcaps flying around town and you netted them.
Right. They're a weapon, though, for him.
Oh, yeah.
He starts just chucking hubcaps, hoping they get caught up by the wind.
Sure.
And they're all...
And he's not even, like, throwing them weapon style. He's just like, I just got to make them out of the way. So he's just, like, tossing them in the air haphazardly. And then they just turn into death discs.
One hits a guy right in the chest.
Goes into his chest.
Like, a long ways.
Yeah.
Half of a hubcap.
Yep.
Do you know what'd be really sad, though, about this scene? Is if you died from a Geo Metro hubcap.
The plastic one?
Yeah, or like a Kia hubcap. You didn't even get to go out in style. You just got some piece of shit Walmart no-name brander right in the chest.
Like, but that guy's like, oh, sweet, at least it was a Dodge.
Well, my life wasn't totally wasted.
Yeah.
An 88 Aries got me.
Yeah, like, not this way. Oh, wait, no, Ford. Fuck yeah.
Sweet. Jackie, you're so weird. All right, so So the cops are like, we can't, or the cops, they're like, we can't stop this force of nature. This guy's too tough. Retreat! And so Will and Casey are free from this whole scenario. But back at the facility, the generator has been fixed by the brother now, who then promptly gets electrocuted because of it.
He fixes the generator, and he's like, I'm going to go. You want to think that he's freeing the quote-unquote army guys, but what you see is him sprint into an electric fence, get zapped, and fall down. And then the next time you see him, he's on the inside.
Right. There's no dialogue like...
He's snipping the fence.
I understand. He's the one that restored power to it.
Yeah.
It's him that electrocuted himself. Nobody pushed him into it. Nobody was like, oh my God, he's breaking him out. Engage the electric fence. He did it.
He turned the electric fence on and then zapped the piss out of himself with it.
Actually, they did engage the electric fence.
No, they
when
can't.
They saw him cutting it.
They can't do that.
But they did.
The reason the electric fence exists, Jackie, is because he restored power to it. It doesn't matter if somebody pushed a button or not. He did it.
Yeah, he played Don't Piss on the Electric Fence and he lost.
Free those guys before you turn on the power to the electric fence.
Well, he is in Alabama.
Yeah, right.
See, I don't know that he wasn't just like electrocuting himself because he ran out of whiskey. He's like, my buzz is running thin. I'm going to see what this electric fence will do for me.
So the cops come in after getting their ass kicked by fucking frisbees, and they're like, we've had a goddamn enough of this shit, QQ, and we're taking over.
Yeah, this is actually the only genuinely good part of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because the sheriff monologues for a long time, and the second that he gets done with his monologue, the bad guy shoots and kills him.
Right.
He's like, we're going to do this. And then he's like, boom, like, oh, that... Well, that didn't work.
And then the other cops are like, okay.
Yep.
even though we've got you surrounded with guns, they're like, hold on, don't shoot him. Let's hear what he has to say after he just killed our boss.
Yeah.
Well, he gives them all $20 million, and they were like,
they were going to get that before.
No, I think they were, who knows?
Yeah, either way, they're getting 20 mil. They're good with it.
Yeah, all right. So... Casey and Will go to the mall.
Are you going to the mall later?
Why did they go to the mall?
Well, that's the perfect place to set up a way to kill your brother.
Right. Like, that's why they go there, because they call in with the walkie-talkie and are like, hey, here's what's up. We're at the mall. I want to hear from my brother. Okay, he's cool. He's still alive. Right on. You electrocuted yourself? That was dumb.
That was dumb.
But we're at the mall. Why don't you guys bring him over and we'll do this exchange. You guys can have the code. We can have my bro back. And everything will be cheeky.
Yeah.
Why the mall? They don't pick up
know.
supplies. He makes some stink about... Well, I know what he makes a stink about. But everything that they do at this location is based off of this location.
Yes.
They could have chose anywhere else to go.
They could have originally just gone
to the Burger King.
When the movie starts, the Treasury place is like right at the edge of town, and they never really leave town. But there's a lot of driving, so you never really know where anyone is or why they go anywhere.
Right.
But they're at the mall now.
They're at the mall.
And they're like, hey, why are you back at the Treasury Department? And they're like, because it's so windy outside we can't drive around. Okay, we'll come to the mall.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be there in a minute.
No problem. See you soon. The cops bring him in, and then Will fucking shoots the glass roof off of the mall.
They have a long sequence where it shows you them gathering all this stuff, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? They've got harnesses. He gets a flare gun. You think it's going to be a really elaborate thing that involves a lot of moving parts, but no, it's shoot the roof out, shoot the skylight out with a flare, and then the hurricane is going to suck everybody up into it.
Except for the two of us who are strapped in.
Are tethered. But we didn't tether ourselves in a way that we would stay in the mall.
No, they go into the
ourselves on 1,000-foot cable lines so that we can reverse bungee jump into the sky.
They are dead.
They are dead. The brother is obviously dead as well because he had to get sucked up into the hurricane.
Their plan was, hey, at least we'll be secured. What about your brother?
Yeah. Well, this is the part where I kill my brother.
He kills his brother. Another death.
Yes.
Ugh, good God. Everybody dies here. Like, this is... And I'm not even sure if the outside pressure could ever get close enough to have this actually work.
The vacuum?
Yeah, like, it's a lot. Come on.
Well, the mall would be like a really sealed environment that was highly pressurized.
Yeah, like a spaceship.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a little fetch.
Tornadoes, I hear, can do this in smaller spaces, but I don't know about a hurricane.
Yeah.
Either way, let's say this is all kosher scientifically. This is not a good plan.
This is a shitty plan.
Yes.
This is everybody dies, including us plan.
Yeah.
And even if we somehow miraculously make it, we didn't strap my brother down. The whole reason why we did this
was to save him.
He got sucked up in the hurricane, straight into Brent Spiner's ass.
Yeah.
Dead.
In fact, in the movie, you think he's dead.
Right.
Because he's just like gone.
He leaves.
And then they get blown sideways, and then they like swing through a glass window and they're safe or whatever, which doesn't make any sense. But you're like, oh yeah, you guys made it. Weren't you supposed to save the other guy? Wasn't that the point of this scene?
The whole idea.
And he's dead now.
Yeah, so they go to his house like, hey, you here? You here? Well, he's not here because you killed him.
He's dead.
He's in a different state now in several parts.
Yeah.
Good job. Well, I guess he's not here.
He left they found his head in Tuscaloosa.
Left my
his
heart
foot in Alabama.
They're like, well, I guess he's not here. Sandwiches?
Sandos.
Let's have some week old glove box sandwiches.
This jackass, he drives around in a tank. In his glove box, he's got daily Sandos. Little PB&Js for each day of the week.
Right.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches don't keep so good.
They do not. You can't have man, the Saturday sandwich is gross. This has been in here since last Saturday. Icky. But and what are they doing, honestly? Just sitting around eating some goddamn glove box sandwiches. So they decided to make his attack truck into a car bomb to blow up the facility and everybody in it, even though there's army guys still hostage in it. So
they're gonna kill everybody and themselves.
Kill everybody and themselves. Okay, but the bad guys show up because they go to this greenhouse to get some fertilizer to make this fucking bomb.
Cut to the garden store.
Yeah, cut to garden store. It doesn't line up at all. It seems like his brother has a greenhouse out back, and now they're just at it. And the car's still parked inside, but it's not. It's outside. And they're like, oh, they must have seen the Dominator. That's how they got here. I'm like, question mark on everything here until
and then
we
they
go
talked
outside.
about like fertilizer being the one of the components of the explosions in the Oklahoma City bombing. He throws 2 bags of potting soil in the back of the Jeep. That ain't gonna blow shit up.
It'll blow your flowers up. They'll look great.
These boom tomatoes are delicious this year again.
They exploded into life.
The flavor.
So it's not a problem for them, though, because a fucking wave comes in and takes out the goddamn greenhouse with them in it.
Yeah, everybody dies.
They're dead.
All of the people are dead again.
Jesus. But he floats to the Dominator that's, like, now useless. It's parked up a telephone
He sees
pole.
it, and he's like, I found it, awesome.
My baby.
But then his brother shows up in a boat.
Right.
And you're like, how? So you landed in a boat?
Right.
Is that your boat?
Whose boat is this?
Where did you get that boat?
I didn't kill you? Sweet boat.
Like, even the shipping boats got pushed over and were destroyed.
Right.
But
where did you get this thing?
Yeah, there's a tidal wave that's big enough to fucking take down a fucking shipping freighter.
Yep. Takes an oil tanker out.
And he's just, I'm in this boat.
Yep.
Not to mention, like, we see the Dominator, and where it's at, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. The tidal wave's over, all that shit. It's calmed down, okay? It's buried in, like, 4 feet of water. The entire town is flooded now.
This is officially gotten to where it's hard rain, the movie.
Right. But in the next fucking shot, the bad guys are just driving around in like 2 inches of water.
Yep. This isn't a very...
damn it.
They've established the size of the town like 3 times.
Right.
And then they've made it the size of L.A. like 4 times.
Right. Yeah. So he's good. He gets picked up by his brother, but Casey gets floated right into the bad guys, and she's nabbed. Good one. Good plan. Everything's just going great here, guys.
Everything is going great. I think at some point they mention, though, either a little bit before... It's weird when they go back to the SAT service to just make this one thing, one line where they say that the winds are going to get 600 miles per hour.
Right.
There is a storm where the wind gets 600 miles per hour. Would you like to know where it is?
Jupiter.
Yes. It's on Jupiter.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the entire planet of Earth.
We're about to get into some really nasty science here. So they take her back to the facility. They're like, give us the code. And she's like, fuck you. And they're like, oh yeah, well, fuck you. I'm going to stick your friend in the fucking paper shredder. And she's like, no, I love him. I don't know.
They hated each other at the beginning of the movie.
Right. And she's like, no, don't do it. Here's the fucking code. It's on this iPad in a bag of garbage.
We also have to address the fact she's like, we got to let him go. Go where? There's a fucking hurricane outside.
Right.
Like, don't kill him and I'll open the door. Like, once she's there, it's kind of game over, lady. Just open the door.
Yeah, exactly. So she gives them the iPad. They get the code. They go into the fucking safe and then promptly shoot him anyways.
Yep.
And then don't shoot her.
You know, he needs to teach her a lesson.
About what?
About how to not get away with it.
Indeed.
He's been teaching everybody else that lesson this entire time by shutting off the generator.
Well, you know, good leaders look for opportunities when in disasters.
Yeah, I know. This guy's a seagull manager.
This guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Because the brothers go back, open up his secret gun room, and he's got a shitload of guns and stuff, right? But they don't even fucking use those. The eye of the storm is overhead, so they got this nice break. It's a 40-mile wide eye of the storm, which I did look up. The highest width a hurricane eye has ever been is 40 miles, so we'll allow this one.
All right.
But they come back and they've already got the trucks packed up and they're leaving and they see her inside the cab of the truck, thus implying that if they had just shot her, the brothers would have no reason to be involved anymore.
Yes.
Like, there's an innocent life on the line, but look, dude, we don't work for the US Department of Treasury. We honestly give a fuck about the $600 million. I'm not going to fucking take a bullet for $600 million getting robbed. Go ahead, have at it.
Once she's been captured,
shoot her.
They're back at his place. What are they doing?
Dude, they're supposed to be good guys, right? But then there's an innocent life on the line. I get that. They shoot her. The movie is over.
Yeah, no, that's the only reason she stays alive is because the movie can't still be on if she's dead.
Ugh. Are you fucking kidding me right now? So they tail the truckers. They're coming up on them. The eye of the storm is riding up on their ass.
Yeah. This is also part of the plan, was able to predict that not only there would be a hurricane, but the eye of the hurricane would pass directly through the center of this town.
Yes.
Over the Department of Treasury.
Right.
Yeah, we're pretty good at figuring out where hurricanes are going to go.
Yeah. And also, the only place that the hurricane exists is in their rearview mirror. Even though it's 40 miles to the next wall of the storm, guess what? You can see fucking 40 miles. It's called clouds, Jackie. You think that they're right next to you? No, clouds are like 60 miles away.
Well, then why are there so many songs about rainbows?
Right.
And what's on the other side?
Yeah, why are we able to see such green pastures and blue skies in Bulgaria right now?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So they pull up to the back of the truck. The brother jumps from the hood to the semi-truck onto it. And then his brother, I guess, puts in cruise control, gets on his hood, and then jumps from his. But it's a lot longer distance, and he's dead.
Well,
he gets crushed by his own truck.
Doesn't have cruise control in this dumpy truck.
Okay.
Because they show, as soon as he takes his foot off of the gas, the speedometer going down. So he's decelerating as soon as he lets go of that gas pedal.
He didn't make it.
So here's another fun thing. You ever drafted a semi? Don't ever do it. I say don't do it if you're listening. I was stupid enough to do it one time.
Yeah.
Once you get in the draft, that fucker sucks you right up in there.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a little scary.
If you want to touch the back of a semi, that ain't going to be hard.
Yeah.
So they could have both easily just like walked right on had they, followed science with this one.
Right, they did not. He's dead, though. He
Yeah, he
clearly
didn't make it.
drops to the ground. His entire body explodes in blood, and then his own truck runs over him,
Yeah.
adding insult to injury.
After his brother, who is a meteorologist, jumps from the hood of a truck to the back of a semi.
Right, action
better
meteorologist.
than Indiana Jones could have done it.
Oh, my God.
Who I guess was a
He was busy.
archaeologist, so...
Whatever.
Whatever.
All right, so
scientist, awesome guys.
now they're on the truck with the hackers in it, because the hackers get their own truck. So they
Because they can fucking drive a
They can
semi.
drive truck.
Everyone in this movie can drive a semi.
they can drive truck. Not
well,
to mention,
almost everywhere has a community college now, Sam, and that's where you go learn the trucking. So
That's-
they probably just spent, all this time. They're like, well, we got to set this up the next couple of weeks anyway. Let's just take the beginning Trucker 101 class and start learning how to drive. We'll figure it out when we get there.
I am also under the impression that these aren't just normal truckers.
Sure.
These are government trucks that hold $200 million at a given point in time.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be some other things that average Joe trucker doesn't even know about.
Oh, yeah.
So these people can't drive these trucks, especially the hackers. So they climb in, they beat up the hackers, and shoots one of them in the arm. And now they've got control of that truck. Nothing? Okay.
Yeah, it's like, the hackers are hard to really, like... Her boob never came out, and I realize it's not coming out at this point, so they're dead to me.
Okay. So Will climbs over to the next truck. He leaves his brother with the hackers. And this is the truck that's got Casey in it. And inside, while he's on his way... One guy who Casey killed his brother, one goon, is like, I'm going to fucking kill you and I'm going to make it hurt. And she's like, that's cool, bro. You punched like a little bitch. And then they get in a fight.
They get in a fight, and the fight is her kind of punching him, and they're both wrestling, and he only bites her.
Right.
He bites her in the face, and the arm, and the hand. Like, he is his only tactic in fighting is to bite people.
He's a chomper.
Yeah. This guy has got problems.
So she gets her hand on a P90, a fucking automatic rifle, blows away the driver right as Will is coming in. The truck careens off the road.
Who got into the truck by grasping onto the exhaust pipe.
Yeah. He has to take over the truck driving while she's in the back bed area fighting.
He almost hits a incomparably large set of silos that can't possibly exist anywhere on Earth.
Yeah, right.
Manages to not hit it.
Yeah.
And then goes, looks like we're gonna have to jump.
Yep.
And then they jump 6 inches off the ground.
Right.
It's fucking, like, they don't really catch any air in this semi at all. And then the guy flies up onto the roof, and then she shoots him, and then he kicks him out the door.
Right.
It was like a double team. It was like a triple maneuver to kill this guy, where you don't jump a semi, he flies into the air for no reason, she shoots him, and then you can sort of swivel while you're truck driving and then kick him out of the door, which will open on its own for him and then close itself after he's out of the car.
Absolutely. It's one of those sweet doors. Now there's only one truck left with Connor, the bad guy Irishman, in the front. And they tag team it. They got him on either side, and the brothers call, 52.
It's like
Omaha.
It's the alligator jack off.
Yeah,
whatever.
alligator jack off. Hut, hut.
So I guess they call it the Alabama Slam. I'll invite anyone to look on Urban Dictionary and find out what the Alabama Slam actually is.
I don't want to.
It's not good. In this movie, though, it's just two trucks both pinching another truck that then it causes grief.
No, the way it happens is they pinch the truck like every other fucking movie ever, but then they pass it and slow it down. They're blocking the road. So it's slowed down so that it's going to get sucked up into that hurricane wall.
Okay, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And it does.
It does. He dies in the most dumb manner ever.
this was probably one of my favorite death scenes.
Okay.
Because not only is he like watching his money get sucked away, he's like, my money, my money. And he sounds like a little kid, right? But then his trailer gets sucked off.
It just comes disconnected. Like all the equipment is like manually undone by the hurricane.
Yeah. So obviously it's just shoddy work on his part.
Right.
And then he's watching it and he's like, fuck. And then the trailer comes down, hits the truck square and blows everything to shit.
It doesn't go into Brent Spiner's ass. The hurricane's like, oh yeah, buddy, you want your money? Pooh. Spits it back out at him and kills him. It's so stupid.
Have fun spending this at the dead bank.
I thought it was awesome. And then you just see the front of the truck just kind of skid forward.
Yeah. All right, now I've got some science here.
All right.
How fast are these guys driving?
85.
Yeah.
The average speed of a Category 5 hurricane, forward movement speed, not wind speed, is 32 miles per hour.
That's what I thought. It takes them a while to get to where they're going.
Yeah.
And then they stay there for a while, which is what causes such great devastation.
Yeah. The slowest moving Cat 5 ever recorded?
12
miles per hour.
Oh,
I really?
guess.
I guessed it? Nice.
Good guess.
Yeah. So you could outrun the slowest one. Now, you can't obviously run 35 miles per hour, but I'm pretty sure this truck, even as slow down as they make it, they either have to stop in the middle of the road, which then if you're the behind truck, you just drive around them. You can outrun a hurricane, is my point.
Unless it's faster than the storm on the face of Jupiter that's larger than our planet.
Correct.
Then you can't outrun it.
Yeah.
And then it'll throw your own truck on you, adding insult to injury.
So awesome. Now the brother, we still got one more problem because the brother's truck is breaking down. It's slowing down to a reasonable speed of like 35 miles an hour, which is still going to outrun that hurricane. But he has to jump from his truck to the other truck. He does, and then promptly gets ran over by it because the distance is too far, so he's dead right there. But the hackers are still inside his truck, and they're like, come back! And they're like, we'll try to save you! And they don't. The hackers get sucked up into Brent Spiner's ass.
Yep. It's pretty sad those didn't come out. So this is
not even in the hurricane when they get sucked upwards.
Yeah, I wanted the dress to come out first. At least a lacy bra.
Right. Little comedy. They just shook in the dress. Oh, I'm naked.
Yeah.
And dead.
And he's got boxer shorts with bananas on them or something like that.
Classic comedy. So they get away from the hurricane because I guess they go 40.
They go 45 and they're like, okay, we're safe now. And then she's like, so you guys from Alabama, right? And they're like, yeah. She's like, three-way?
Yeah. Any chance at a three-way? Little wobbly H. Little London Bridges here, you guys. That's where you put a dick in my mouth and my vagina at the same time.
Ooh.
Yeah. He looks back in the rearview mirror and fucking sees a monster face.
But it goes away again?
So is it in his mind, or is all hurricanes monsters?
It's unresolved issues in the movie and in his mind.
Yes.
Credits.
After
some terrible comedy that we aren't going to discuss.
Agreed.
Jackie, you're first on questions.
I don't have any.
Sam, you're first on questions.
So, if he saves the first hacker girl, do you think he sort of just pulls her in and then see ya, dude?
That's what I would do.
You mean the brother?
You're single now.
Yeah.
He's
like, hey, what about the other guy? And he's like, oh, fuck the other guy. I just grabbed myself a girlfriend.
Here's the deal. I'm not really into Wobbly H with my brother, my literal brother. I know some guys are into that sort of thing.
Sure.
Banging a lady with, another boner in the room. It's not my bag. So I think I'm going to get some of my own lady.
Sure. Plus, if I was into having a three-way like that, I drink whiskey all day and probably fuck like a champ. He's a meteorologist.
Right.
Either he's into super weird shit or he's going to be 3 pumps and out.
Yeah, I think our local weatherman here, has a dungeon.
Ooh.
I think he has, and I don't think he's the giver of pain. He's the receiver of pain.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
The king of pain.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that makes you the king if you take it.
Who's to say?
Okay. I've got a two-parter.
Sure.
Is it a disaster movie?
I will return like we are playing tennis and ask you if it is a movie.
Yes.
It's a disaster movie?
Because this tornado is a mecha hurricane tornado. Hurricane, mecha hurricane is coming, and it's the biggest one that they've ever seen.
Right.
So it's going to cause mass destruction.
But the movie doesn't really go in any of the destruction.
And it also doesn't play by any disaster tropes at all.
Right.
So it's not a heist movie either.
It's not a heist movie.
It's just a cop movie where one of the cops is a mechanic and the other cop is a meteorologist.
Set to the backdrop of a hurricane.
And then there's a bunch of other BS that happens.
Yeah. Well, let's, for the sake of my follow-up, say, okay, well, if it is a disaster movie, what about this? Is it the least grounded in science movie we've done?
Well, here's the deal. In Geostorm, they couldn't ever tell you what a geostorm was.
That's a pretty big deal.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And that was just last year.
And don't forget Armageddon, which is demoed at NASA.
Because of how inaccurate it is.
How inaccurate it is scientifically. And then don't forget Volcano as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that
What's
movie
magma?
What's magma? The whole thing can't happen. Neither can this one. I mean, a hurricane can, but not being able to outrun it. The wind speeds are ludicrous. The sound or the pressure in the mall. It's pretty, like, we're not going to worry too much about the science here, guys. And I think we can all agree that it is the idiot plot, right?
Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't. It's kind of special for the idiot plot because the only hitch in the giddy up is self-inflicted. The only thing that stops the robbery from really working, like, it's so stupid that it was taking candy from a baby the way that the setup was, and they stopped themselves from having a successful robbery by shutting off the generator.
And they stopped themselves from having a successful robbery because you can't do this. Here's the reason this whole movie can't exist.
Sure.
If these guys show up and do all of this and you don't go, hey, look, I brought a civilian into this bad situation, I'm not even going to go in there and see what's going on. I've got a civilian with me, right? If he doesn't get captured, there's no reason for the brother to get involved. There's no reason for anybody to get involved, really. So that was a bad call on her part. She's getting fucking fired for doing that.
Sure.
She'll probably have like some sort of fucking Benghazi congressional hearing about the whole goddamn thing too. But all she has to do is go, you know what? Take it. Go ahead. I'm not going to stand in your way. Here's the fucking code. Have a good time. Because within a month, every single one of these motherfuckers is going to get arrested. These monies are cataloged.
It's also,
you can't spend it without having a paper trail directly back to you. Hey, that's where they're at. Let's go get them.
Where are they going to go in these 3 semis?
Where are you going to go in these 3 semis?
Mexico.
You can't get to Mexico from there.
No, there's a hurricane.
Gulf of Mexico is in the way.
Yeah, that's kind of like a long ways, dude. And there's a hurricane, and it's not even like they use the hurricane as like this device for other than like the money's been piling up because a hurricane's on the way. What the fuck ever. No, they're going to die while they're trying to get to Mexico. And if they make it outside of the hurricane, what are we looking for? Oh, our trucks. That's right. We'll never find them. And even if the trucks get away, they can't spend the money without getting caught spending the money. You can't just go in and be like, well, yeah, the bills aren't marked, obviously, because they're getting prepared for destruction. Why mark the bills?
Yeah.
You still catalog and record every single one of those fucking... I wouldn't be surprised if every single one of them was scanned before that they get in.
I also thought, and I don't know if this for a fact, I had thought that large-scale facilities like this don't exist anymore, and that they destroy bills on a smaller scale now.
Probably. But either way, just let them have the money, stupid.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of like corporate policy on theft is they'll get caught later, but we can't stop them. Let them leave the store with it.
Right. Nobody gets killed.
Yeah.
The policy number one is nobody gets fucking killed.
Yeah.
Stupid motherfuckers. And even then, it's just fucking money. You still don't kill them. You still don't get people killed, even if you can't trace them. They're gonna get caught. No, this is a real bad idiot plot.
I'm gonna get you and your brother killed because I'm gonna save the money that's trash.
That's trash and cannot be used without being traced.
Why would you do that? I work for the ATF.
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Why am I in this? Oh, God. Okay, so final recommendations. Jackie, let's go with you.
I'm going to go with Do Not.
Okay, all right.
Really?
But it had some moments, but overall I was bored.
All right, fair enough. Sammy?
I thought it was hilarious all the way through. I enjoyed it. I think it's a do. I also don't usually quote movie reviews, but the guy from Variety pointed out that it involves both sort of worship of football and the Second Amendment, but also is very against global warming. So if this shit doesn't bring America together, what will? Right? That wasn't my joke as the guy from Variety.
I also give it a do. It is not super entertaining. It's not fucking wild ride. There is some very boring parts of it. But when a movie is this stupid, it's landmark.
It's very dumb.
It is so stupid that I can't not say don't watch this because you won't believe how fucking dumb it is. And some of the stuff that like visually that we can't even describe accurately, the guy getting landed by the truck, the fucking him on the fucking tower getting blown around, the mall sequence. I mean, there's a lot of sequences that you have to see to believe that they still make movies this bad.
Yeah. No, I thank you for reminding me to say that. I just didn't think they pumped him out this bad anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even Geostorm doesn't even come close to how bad this movie is.
I would say, though, that the only thing that made me like Geostorm better is Abby Cornish.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. And she's fucking great. There's nobody in this one that's great, that steals the whole thing.
No.
Saves it. But no, it's just shit. This movie is shit.
Shit.
So there you go. Sammy, you're up next. What do you have for us?
If I can find it fast enough, it's going to be American Hunter.
Ooh.
I probably will not be able to find it fast enough, so that might be a couple, but that's the plan.
All right.
Is to try to get a hold of that guy.
Okay, we'll see if you're able to. I hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy the show. Follow us on Facebook and talk to us. Write us at Talking Stinker Madness. Call us on the phone. And I met Brent Spiner. Get to the chopper. Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.